Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees, guys, we got an update about the movie. It's actually Saturday, August 13th. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, and this is the weekly horror roundup. The Horror Weekly, yes. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about a bunch of things like a Black Phone 2, Friday Night at Freddy's. We got a trailer for Amityville Thanksgiving. Seriously? Yes, indeed. A lot of trailers. It's actually going to be a huge show. So let's just get into it right away and talk about Friday the 13th, which is what everybody wants to hear about. Because we do have an update. And we'll talk about that right now. A return to Crystal Lake producer Roy Lee. Roy Lee, that name's going to be used a lot today, so we'll talk about Roy Lee. Producer Roy Lee teases Friday the 13th franchise news very soon. It's an exclusive. Well, it's not really all that exclusive, guys. I mean, if you're not familiar with what's been going on, it's been kind of bogged down in legal issues with the original guy who wrote the first script and like the people that want to make more, right? The studio, right? Because the original writer, something Miller, what was his name? Miller, yeah. Anyway, he's saying that you can't make it because the rights belong to me, and it got bogged down in a whole bunch of legal issues, which you can find out there if you really want to go out there and read Victor Miller. There we go. And it's kind of convoluted. It's very confusing, some of it. There are articles out there that go into it, but from what I understand of it is that Miller has the rights to the original Friday the 13th movie, but it doesn't include the adult Jason Voorhees. It doesn't include the hockey mask machete person. So it's kind of, the rights are really, yeah. You can go in and read the nuances of the case and back and forth, but it sounds like Roy Lee has actually come around here and maybe convinced this Victor Miller to reconsider, because when you think about it, hey, if it's just sitting on the shelf, nobody's making money that way, guys. So this is what is happening from apparently Roy Lee. He was on a podcast from Bloody Disgusting where he says in a quote, you may hear something by year's end on that front. The full quote is, there is something that I would love to talk about. You may hear something by year's end on that front. So it sounds like they've moved together to say, yeah, hey, come on. We want more Friday the 13th. We want some of that cheddar, right? Who doesn't? Yeah, so the rights, yeah, because the adult Jason didn't show up in the first Friday the 13th. And from what I understand, even this Victor Miller, he doesn't even have the rights to the actual name Friday the 13th. He just has rights to the original story, which was more about the mother. So we'll have to see how this all pans out. I'll keep my eye on it. Roy Lee says that we may hear something by the end of the year. I'm keeping my fingers crossed about this for sure. There are some other articles out there saying that we're trying to, push this story along a little bit. They're saying, well, who would play the new Jason? There's people up on like Movie Web that have posted articles saying, well, what about that guy who was just in Predator Prey? The guy who played the Predator. He's big enough and could play a Jason Voorhees. Now, that's just getting a little bit ahead of yourself there, right? Because as we know, we just have this little quote, and it's really one sentence. You may be hearing something by year's end on that front. And I hope so. Friday the 13th reboot announcement teased by producer amid ongoing legal battle. I hope we hear something by year's end, because I do think that this franchise does need to go forward and reintroduce a younger crowd to it and keep it going, because I like Jason. And I like Friday the 13th series. All right, guys, if you don't know, we're a movie news show. When we do the Horror Weekly every Saturday, 12 p.m., well, most Saturdays. And we talk about all of the horror movie news that came out during the week. And if you don't see it listed here on the side, it'll be in the description below. There are all my other social media handles. And I know YouTube says, come on, guys, subscribe. What? No, I feel dirty doing that. If you like it, and you'll subscribe. You'll hit the thumbs up button. I don't need to tell you guys that stuff. Comment from the live chat. A Weaver, ooh, this should be fun. I didn't know about most of these. Do tell. Indeed, we will. Okay, let's talk about Paranormal Activity. Because Jason Blum, who is in control of that franchise, came out earlier in the week and said, well, I think we're near the end of the Paranormal Activity. I don't really see what more we can do with it. And then this drops. Paranormal Activity 8, targeting a 2023 release date. The 8th installment is a found footage horror franchise. It's titled Paranormal Activity, The Other Side. The Other Side. Now, I did like certain installments of Paranormal Activity. Obviously, the first one was great. It hooked people in, right? And then it slowly got a little bit worse. I didn't mind the marked ones. But apparently, Jason Blum has come out and said that Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, if you ever saw it, was not a good film. And I kind of have to agree with him. All right. So, and that's what he's saying, that, maybe it's time to put this one to bed. But then all of a sudden, this story drops like the day after he made that announcement. So, Paranormal Activity, The Other Side, is reportedly eyeing a 2023 release date. And from what I understand from this article, is that the guy who wrote the first one, Oren Peli, is going to be writing this new one. And apparently it's going to pick up with the same kind of story about the two sisters, because that kind of got lost along the way with the ghost dimension and all that kind of stuff, which was fascinating. It's just they saved a lot of those punches, those reveals, to like the very last few minutes of the film. Where I weigh in with the Paranormal Activity franchise is that they somehow got to reinvent the wheel. And I know that that's what Next of Kin was trying to do, but what was it, number 4? It was Paranormal Activity 4, I think, where it was like a 2-minute scene of them just focusing in on the living room, and I'm like, no. Because then it was like, oh, did that pillow move? Something moved. It's like, no, it got a little bit boring. And as I said, the payoffs didn't really come until like the last 5 minutes. So we'll have to see how this goes. But if the original writer's coming back for this one, Paranormal Activity, again, it's one of those franchises that, like the Saw franchise, right? It came out every year around the Halloween season. And we'll have to see how Paranormal Activity, The Other Side, for late October 2023, how this develops. Blumhouse said the last... yeah, we know Blum recently said that the last Paranormal Activity movie was terrible. But that's the news. Are you guys excited for a new Paranormal Activity movie? And where do you think it could go? Let me know in the comments below. A Weaver says in the live chat, love 2 and 3, checked out after that. Yeah. Because I like the concept of that kind of weird coven kind of thing going on, where they were trying to open up the portals to different dimensions. And yeah, we'll have to see how this pans out. Continuing on with sequels, and this kind of brings us back to Roy Lee, oddly enough. The Strangers. We'll have 3 new sequels in production next month. 3! Wow. Did you like the Strangers movie? I liked the first one. The second one was a meh. I like aspects of the second one, mostly because of Christina Hendricks. But it's a simple concept. These people, I don't know if they're a family. You assume that they're a family. Just show up at somebody's house and kills them during the night, and they wear masks. It's a house invasion kind of thing, right? But 3 sequels, really? Pray at Night. Was discovered by Roy Lee. The first movie was produced by Roy Lee. So there's that name again, Roy Lee. Bloody Disgusting's Boot Crew was speaking with Lee. So this also came out in this interview about the strangers here. I think the next 3 are in production next month with another filmmaker that people will know. Lee tells us exclusively. I don't know why you got to keep on using buzzwords like that. Hey, we're horror fans here. We're going to find this out no matter what. It doesn't, like, hey, I give credit where credit's due. I said Bloody Disgusting, the Boo Crew podcast. I've never listened to it. Maybe later on today when I'm playing my video games, I'll pop it in on the background. Because that's the best way to listen to podcasts, right? Okay, so his next movie is going to be The Barbarian. That comes out next September 9th. But three sequels to Strangers, Home Invasion. Well, it's one of those, it's a formula that could be easily done with a lower budget, so I understand that. We don't really know too much about the family themselves, other than the fact that they like to kill people. And, yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. But this just dropped that The Strangers, Rennie Harlin will be directing at least one of the upcoming sequels. Rennie Harlin. He was responsible for movies like Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, and that horrible, god-awful Gina Davis Cutthroat Island pirate movie, which pretty much tanked his career for a long while, actually. Now, I like aspects of Cutthroat Island, but let's not get sidetracked with that. Let's talk about Rennie Harlin directing a... Well, you know what? As I said, it's a small budget. I would imagine it should be a small budget. It should be a small cast, a small premise. I think it's got possibilities for him to explore if he's got that flavor. You know that he's got the pedigree of doing action. Not so much horror, though. He did do a horror called Prison. Oh, and he did Deep Blue Sea, an Exorcist at the beginning. I don't know. Deep Blue Sea was not really a horror, though. Well, I guess if you can just... Yeah, sharks eating people, but it wasn't that horrific. Rennie Harlin. Stay tuned for more things about The Strangers as we learn it. Yeah, and I'm sure that more things about The Strangers will come out during the next week here, and we'll keep our eye to the ground about The Strangers and its sequels. Taking some more live comments here. I love... A. Weaver says, I love the concept and especially the first one, but how the heck can they do 3? Yeah, you know. Are we going to get a backstory? I would hope so. Maybe. But maybe that would take away from the mystique. Because, yeah, you don't really learn much about them in the first 2 films. And it almost kind of, well, you know what? It sets up for the fact that maybe they won't die in the first couple of ones, or maybe they will die, and then somebody else picks up that mantle. We'll have to see. I like the idea you said here in the live chat here, A. Weaver. Please don't let it be another cult, but maybe not a cult, but maybe a group of people, kind of like in that movie. What was it? Invitation, where it was like. It wasn't happening just in one place. It's happening like there was a franchise of people doing all this kind of stuff, kind of thing, right? The fun is that they are strangers. Yeah. So maybe not a backstory. We don't need to know the backstories. It's just people who like to kill. And there you go. The Strangers, sequels, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. So let's talk about this Roy Lee. Who is this Roy Lee? Because he's been producing a lot of stuff. So let's go over to the IMDb. Take a look at some of his credits. 95. Roy Lee. Well, that's not a very good picture. Let's see what else. There he is, the man himself, Roy Lee. I guess he's gone to Comic-Con. Producer, Roy Lee. Let's take a look at some of his credits. Oh, he was going to be producing the Salem's Lot reboot. Now, I heard that this movie, Salem's Lot, is actually going to get pulled. It's going to get shelved and axed, which kind of bums me out. But I haven't been able to find anything to substantiate it. I haven't found any articles saying that it's going to. We know that it got delayed the next year. It was supposed to come out this year. But, yeah, the Salem's Lot. I'm looking forward to the Salem's Lot reboot because I want to see what they're going to do with it. But tentatively, it's expected for April 21st, 2023, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to actually happen because there's some speculation out there that it's not, because apparently they're not happy with the way that it looks or something like that. But anyway, looking at his resume here, this Roy Lee, and of course he's got the Barbarian coming out next month. My initial observation is that he's got his hand. He produced that 2010 Friday the 13th, right? Hellraiser, Tommy Knockers, Watcher, Godzilla vs. Kong, executive producer. The Stand, Turning, Doctor Sleep, The Grudge. So I'm getting the impression here that he's got his hand in the realm of horror. So, producer of It, really? Rings, Sleepless, Blair Witch. So he's got his hands in a lot of the horror genre. So if he's talking about, rebooting the Friday the 13th, okay. I was somebody that was sort of mixed with that Friday the 13th 2010 version, right? It was okay. But yeah, it was okay. Is that what a Battle Royale too? He did Battle Royale. Yeah, so he's done a lot. He's got a huge resume, so I would trust him in this to bring this through. So hopefully, when he says things like "We're going to hear more about Friday the 13th by the year's end," cool. He executive produced The Ring, The Grudge, Dark Water, The Lake House. Ooh, that's one of my. The Lake House. That's not a horror. It's a rom-com between Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. But there you go, Roy Lee. That's who he is. He's, I would say he's quite renowned. I don't know what his reputation is. I'm just learning about him. So there we go, guys. He's going to be helming a lot of this stuff. And looking at him, he's got a new Exorcism movie coming out. Friday the 13th producer details unique new Exorcism horror movie. Producer Roy Lee. So the film is going to be set during a late night talk show in the 70s, and it looks like they got David Dostmalkian in this. Fascinating. Upcoming original film Late Night with the Devil, and its star-making lead role Lee Vertigo's Entertainment. Okay, now we know about his resume here, so we don't need to know that. But what is the log line? The film will take place during a late night talk show during production in 1977. Something goes wrong during the show's filming, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. Okay, according to the official synopsis, the film will be the second Spooky Pictures Image Nation co-production following the hit Watcher. Okay, so that's interesting. An exorcism movie where unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms during a talk show. So maybe there's like a seance or something? We'll have to see. It is kind of intriguing. I like the concept of, seances and trying to conjure up the devil himself, Every now and then you like to dabble with those kinds of things, right? Let's see. This is a long quote. We just wrapped Late Night with the Devil. I almost read the script. Who is this? This is about the star, David Dostmalkian. Now, he's been in a bunch of MCU movies. In Ant-Man, he was Polka Dot Man. You guys will recognize him. He was in Batman, Dark Knight. So very familiar face. You'll recognize who he is. And he's just talking about wrapping the film. And he says that he hopes that it's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm not going to read you this rather lengthy quote because we got a long show today, guys. But if you want to go check it out, it's up on Screen Rant. So I recommend that. It's done as if it's a real television show. And when it goes to commercial breaks, it cuts to an aspect ratio of traditional films. So you see it almost like a docu-film style behind the scenes as they're shooting this episode. David Dostmakian kills it. Okay, so interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, there he is as Polka Dot Man. I like the Suicide Squad. That was a good movie. Yeah, I need to revisit that one because that was just a lot of fun. Very interesting. Exorcism horror movie during a talk show. Let's take some live comments. Arglass Vikings in the live chat says, a bit of a horror linchpin is our Roy. Yeah. LOL Lake House. Hey, I tried to do a full live watch along for the Lake House, but for some reason it got blocked and I just couldn't cut enough of it. I'll have to try that again. A Weaver says, sounds cool. Potential for some dark comedy with late show settings. Yeah. I get that kind of sense too. Comedy. Because if they do a seance and then people try to reenact it in their homes and such, maybe that's the way I get it. The spirits will do weird things to them. Very interesting. All right. Friday Night at Freddy's. Now, this movie's been teased for a while now, but Jason Blum teases Friday Nights at Freddy's movie with Jim Henson's Creature Shop involvement. Cool. Now, this is something that's been trying to get off the ground for a while now. To try to capitalize on its popularity, but it's been, they announced this back in like 2018 or something, right? Blum tweeted, it's going to be working with Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Their experience and expertise with animatronics is absolutely killer. Now, guys, I've never played Friday Nights at Freddy's, but you can see here from this image, it looks like they're putting together what's going to be the bear costume, right? What's the name of the bear? Freddy Fazbear. Okay. Freddy Fazbear. Cool. Are you going to check that out? Blumhouse says that, Jason Blum says that it's coming along. And if you can see some guy working on it in a workshop, then you know that's going to be coming hopefully fairly soon. I tried looking it up. I did. I couldn't find anything. The IMDb page didn't say anything, but I guess at one point Willem Dafoe was attached to it, and Brett Gelman, who plays Murray on Stranger Things. So that'll be interesting. I don't know what the premise would be. I guess it's sort of going to be kind of like that Nicolas Cage movie came out last year, Willy's Wonderland or something like that, or something. Yeah, like, when somebody goes into an old warehouse and all of these things come alive and they try to kill him. That's what I get from it. Friday Nights at Freddy's. Hey, I think that's a step forward, right? You can actually see them trying to develop it. So, and it comes from Blum himself, so you know that it's credible. So I would imagine any day soon here we'll actually get something a little bit more substantial, perhaps like a time frame for when actual production will happen and some cast finally getting, nailed down. And we'll have to see how that goes. A Weaver says in the live chat, scary animatronics freak me out. Give me a masked maniac with a knife any day. Yeah, there is something a little bit creepy about this visage, right? It could work. And I think hopefully sooner rather than later, we will see a Friday Night at Freddy's movie. Black Phone. Now, this is a little bit spoilerish, so I'll try to be gentle about this. Black Phone. The Black Phone 2 update shared by Scott Derrickson, the director. Now, if you haven't seen Black Phone, there is a little bit of a spoiler here, but if you don't know what the movie was about, basically Ethan Hawke is this guy who kidnaps young people and puts them in a basement and then slowly tortures them to death. And this kid, played by this guy right here, there's a black phone on the wall and he hears the ghosts of the other victims and they help him escape. He escapes. That's not a huge... you can surmise just from the trailers that that's what's going to happen. He escapes. And it's pretty clear as to how he will escape by... yeah. So, spoilers lie ahead, and it's not really too much of a huge spoiler. He kills him, okay? He kills Ethan Hawke, and then he gets out. I'm not going to tell you how he does, because that's the spoiler stuff. Like, you can deduce, hey, at the end of Friday the 13th movies, Jason ends up dead somehow, right? At the end of a Chucky movie, Chucky ends up dying. That's not a spoiler. It's how it happens, right? So, if he's dead, then how the heck can they make a Black Phone 2? Let's take a look at this quote from Matt Derrickson himself, saying, I'm chewing on some ideas. I'm not in a super big rush right now, but obviously everybody wants there to be a sequel because the movie did so well. It's something I'd like to do, but of course, I'll only do it if it can be great. So again, maybe kind of like that satellite thing that we were talking about earlier with the invitation. Maybe it's he's just part of a community of people who do this kind of thing. That's a possibility. At first I thought maybe it could be his brother, but then I remembered what happens in the movie, so that can't happen. Yeah. I don't know. I like the Black Phone. The Grabber. That's his name, right? The Grabber. And it's out now on Peacock, so you guys can go check that out on digital. I totally recommend it. As I said, the young kids in here are actually the true stars. Everybody raves about Ethan Hawke's performance. It was quality. It was good. He always brings it. He was haunting. But for me, the standouts were the young kids. This guy was good, but his sister knocked it out of the park, and she deserves a lot more exposure, and I think she does. She was good. She was in that movie last week, the trailer we saw for The Harbinger, and she's good. So the Black Phone 2, guys, what do you think? Did you see the first Black Phone? Is it something that you want to check out? Because it's something that I would want to check out. Black Phone 2, Scott Derrickson, he's been hitting home runs. He had this, he did the first Doctor Strange. So yeah, he's somebody, I want to see more work for him, and I hope he stays a little bit with the horror franchise as we get going here. Our Glass Viking says in the live chat, wonder what would be the connective link between the Black Phone movies, the Ghosts or the Can't Catch a Break Boy lead. Yeah, Can't Catch a Break. Yeah, see, the Ghosts, I think, it could be the Ghosts, maybe. It obviously would be different ghosts, maybe. Yeah. Can't wait to see this. Don't worry. Don't think you spoiled it. I already knew that stuff. Oh, cool. It's on Peacock. Thanks. Yeah. It just dropped. And I know some people have done their reactions to it now. And maybe I will do a reaction to it when I get a hold of my copy. Yeah, because it does have some... It is a well put together film. One of the better horror films of the year, for sure. All right, coming out next month, right? No, October. Halloween Ends, official rating. Halloween Ends is something that a lot of people are anticipating this year. Halloween Ends officially rated R for bloody horror, violence, and gore. Bloody horror, violence, and gore. Now, we know that this is going to be the last movie Blum is going to be in control of, with the Michael Myers character, and Laurie Strode and him face off, and that looks brutal. That looks like a brutal showdown here, right? And I would expect nothing less from a Michael Myers movie, that bloody horror and violence. And I like the first... I like aspects of the first movie. Halloween Kills for me was just kind of a little bit meh. I didn't like the Tonight Evil Dies chant or whatever it was, like that kind of, like the community coming together and having that chant. It kind of lost me in parts, but I liked the nods to other installments of the franchise. I liked the tributes that they were doing. But I'm kind of still a little bit hesitant about this one, because when you read the log lines for this, it's kind of, they say it's a coming of age story. And it's like, what? What does that have to do with what they've set up? And have they set up a coming of age story? No, but because you want to see the showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. So we'll have to see, because the trailers didn't really show too much about that. It was just kind of like, it showed a lot of Laurie, and So Michael, obviously. So what's this? Halloween Ends releases October 14th. The final battle between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, and I hope it pays off well. The film tagline indicates only one of them will survive, and I'm guessing it will be Michael. Only one of them. Artglass says, Dances with the Stars meets Halloween Ends. Yeah, so it's rated R for bloody horror, violence, and gore, as well as language throughout and some sexual references. When I first said that, because I talked about this story during the week when we did our normal movie news show daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, guys, where we I read it in such a way that it cracked me up. But sexual references, well, you know, they always have that in some capacity, a little bit, right? Horror, in horror movies, it's the taboo nature of it all. So yeah, rated R. That's what I expect from a Halloween Ends. And we got a small clip here. Halloween Ends teaser finds Laurie Strode facing down Michael Myers. Now, I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler. I haven't watched it. I felt like I'll watch it here with you guys to see what this little... Because we're going to get a whole bunch of TV spots now, right? And probably here towards the end of the month or September, we'll get the final trailer, and then a bunch of TV spots. So what's this? Let's just take a look. 10 seconds. Okay, so it's just the music and them kind of looking at each other. And hopefully that little bit doesn't get me copyright strike. I mean, come on. Not strike, but claim. But come on, it's such an easy tune to play. I mean... I need my pick to do that. I can't do that like this. Yeah. Who cares if it gets claimed? I don't have this on monetization because we're going to be watching some trailers later on here, including one for Amityville Thanksgiving. But what do you guys think about that? Are you excited for Halloween Ends rated R? I think that puts it, right up there for me. I want to see how this thing kind of wraps up. A. Weaver says, yeah, coming of age story. Guessing it's Laurie's granddaughter. Yeah, that's what I think. It must be. Okay, let's talk about Orphan First Kill prequel. It's a prequel to Orphan. So there's one article up here that caught my eye. Why Orphan 2's Julia Stiles joined the First Kill prequel movie. I like Julia Stiles. Now, this is not the best photo of her. I think she's awesome. But she's got a very interesting quote here saying that after reading a major twist in the script, it had her hooked. It had her hooked. So, yeah. Let's take a look at this long quote here. Her full comment. This is one before the first one. Esther is in another family. She's escaped a mental hospital and pretends to be the long-lost missing daughter of this family. Now, I guess that is a little bit of a spoiler. You need to watch the first Orphan movie to know, because I think it's pretty obvious that once you see this one, you know what Esther really is, right? And she's really creepy. Really creepy. Missing daughter for this family. When they sent me the script, there was a twist that when I got to the twist, I was like, oh, that's good. And I was hooked. I did not see it coming. And it was also the reason that I wanted to be in the movie. So that's good. Because, you just thought maybe that perhaps it would just be a rehash. But there's a twist. So there's another twist. Because the reveal of Orphan, like in the first movie, that reveal was kind of like, ooh, oh, yay, kind of thing, right? But she played it very well. It was Isabel Furman, right? Fantastic. Yeah, that makes me very interested to see this. It's on Paramount Plus in theaters August 19th. So that's just around the corner, guys. That's just like next week. Really? Huh. So it's going to be on Paramount Plus, August 19th, streaming. We'll have to check this out. Orphan, First Kill. Esther returns in a new clip. Now, I watched this clip. It's about a minute long. I'm not going to play it here. Maybe. Never been done. Isabel Furman talks reprising orphan role. Now, yeah, okay, so let's pull up the clip. I'm not going to play it all here. It's basically her at a train station. And I'll tell you this. It doesn't look like they used any de-aging on her. She's looking her age, because she's in her 20s now, right? Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do that. I guess... Anyway, she just comes up this platform. I don't know the context of the story or what it means, but it looks like she was going to do one of her nefarious deeds. She's got like this, I don't know, like one of those tubes that holds maps or paintings or something, and she was going to use it to kill these two people on the train station. You know that she's evil, right? And then at the last moment, somebody pulls her away saying, "What are you doing?" kind of thing. That's the clip. And we're going to get a bunch of these now, I guess, for the next week as they try to ramp up the marketing, because if it comes out on the 19th, hey, it's right there. Orphan, First Kill. I got to rewatch The Orphan because there's a there's a show on Twitch that I like to watch. Wolf's Call on Twitch. Clark Wolf does a show called Wolf's Call, and she does throwbacks to old movies and such. She's going to be watching The Orphan on Tuesday, so if you guys like me, I'll be participating in her live chat there. I'm not a subscriber to it or anything like that. I'm just there. You'll find me there. I love talking with people in their live chats. It's just something I like to do. Hey, I'm a horror fan. They're a horror fan. If anybody out there does live streams that talks about horror, you're gonna hopefully find me there. Is it a rocket launcher? It doesn't look like no, it's not a rocket launcher. I don't think. But it looks like she was going to try to push them off the platform there. So, yeah. Yeah, no, it's not a rocket. It's got a strap there. So, it's one of those things that you put like drawings and stuff in, or maps or something. Very interesting. A Weaver says, this is mystifying, but I have Paramount Plus, so might as well. Crazy. It's the same young actress. It is. It is. Now, I would admit that she does have like the young quality features to her, but we'll have to see how it plays out. I need to revisit The Orphan. If I do find a copy, we might do a watch along, maybe my own watch along. I don't know. I will have to see how it goes. I do the watch alongs live, so for me, it's kind of like dodging. It's a minefield, right? Because for anybody who does reactions out there, they know that if they cut something up, and then try to upload it to YouTube, it goes through the screening process of kind of like, is it going to get claimed or not? And if it does, they got to take it back down. They got to re-edit it. And I do it live. So I'm very cautious, but I think I've got it worked out. If you haven't seen watch-alongs from me on the channel, I've done Predator Prey. X is something that's gotten like 2.5K views. A lot of people are enjoying it because I do the full movie. I don't do the small chopped up things because I'm not going to waste hours of my time editing, because that burns me out. It burns me out. All right, we got a bunch of various headlines, a lot now, that are not listed here, but they are in the description below, so let's try to get through some of them. Let's soften things up a little bit and talk about Disney. Disney horror. Oddly enough, multiple Disney Channel stars reuniting for LGBTQ plus horror movie. Disney plus stars. Okay, so this is only the stars. But what caught my eye was Debbie Ryan. Now, she was also in a Netflix vampire movie where they took this Uber driver through nightclubs, right? They forced them to drive them to nightclubs so that they can drink people's blood. Debbie Ryan. I think she was in that, right? Going to be in a new horror movie. The film will follow a young queer millennial played by Montgomery living in West Hollywood who was once a famous child actor. When new neighbor Chase moves across the hall and reveals himself as a fan, Benjamin begins investigating the older, oddly familiar man with his best friend Harley. Oh, so Debbie Ryan's going to be playing Harley. I don't know if that one really works for me. I'll keep my eye on it. Doesn't sound like it's going to be too horrific, so it's an odd mix, though. It is an odd mix, having these words. It's a weird combination of words, and hey, I'll keep my eye open for it if it's worthwhile checking out. Continuing on with Disney, Under Wraps 2 trailer. Channel remake unwraps a sequel this Halloween. Now, I never saw Under Wraps, the first one. Under Wraps apparently came out really long time ago, released in 1997. Modern remake, Under Wraps 2. Now, I did watch this trailer, and it's really meant for the younger crowd here. It's kind of like that Goosebumps kind of feel to it. With help from his hypnotized lackey, Larry Sobek kidnaps Rose and Amy Gilbert. Marshall, Buzzy, and Harold must use their skills once again to save her and get back in time to attend the wedding. What wedding? What the heck are you talking about? Disney Channel original movie horror. It's got mummies. And as I said, it's got that very campy horror vibe to it. It's not something that's too appealing to me, but it's got, hey, you know what? This is the way I look at it. If it gets a younger crowd into perhaps watching horror or something with that little bit of the horror vibe to it, hey, that's cool in my book. Because horror is definitely one of my favorite genres because it's so diverse. You can have horror dramas, horror thrillers, horror suspense, and then you can have ghost stories, alien stories, mummy stories, demonic possession movies. It's just, there's so much you can do with it. It's so versatile. But yeah, then you get to see a mummy dancing, and that's where I kind of tapped out. I was like, nope. Under Wraps 2. Were you a fan of the first movie? Let me know in the comments, and we will talk about it. All right, so let's try to get through some of these. Jordan Peele's Nope gets a spoiler-heavy new trailer to celebrate $100 million at the box office. Well, kudos, good. Congratulations. I liked Nope quite a bit, actually. It's something that when the further I'm getting away from it, I'm realizing that, yeah, that was a good movie. I want to watch it again, and I do. When it comes out, I think we will be doing a full live watch-along for this one, because I do want to grab this one. In the film, residents in a lonely gulch in inland California who bear witness to an uncanny and chilling mystery. Well, we know that it's about aliens, right? We know that there's this spaceship or something in the clouds. And I did watch this trailer, so it does reveal quite a bit about the story. They're just celebrating that it's made $100 million now at the box office. Cool. And Daniel Kaluuya in this as the brother. He's the standout. So I'm not going to play the trailer because it does spoil some things out there. It's still fairly fresh. We've seen the spaceship in the trailers for it, or what was it, Jean Jacket, right? Yes. Go see Nope if you can, and see it immediately, quickly, as soon as you can when it comes out on streaming, because it's a good movie, and it's going to be one of the better horror movies of the year too. Talking about one of the better horror movies. A Weaver says, I don't get it, but agree it's drawing in a new young horror fans. Yeah, indeed, with the Disney stuff, for sure. All right, but 100 million for Nope. That's good news, and that's news to celebrate for. and new trailer out, because it's going to be finishing up its box office run here pretty soon, I would imagine. We saw last week that it was still in the top 5, but we'll have to see how things pan out. All right. Try to get through some of these pretty quick. Paul W.S. Anderson teases a return to full-on horror. Now, he did Event Horizon, so he's going back to horror. Now, when I heard his name, I was like, well, maybe is he up for another? Maybe he's going to be one of the directors of one of the Strangers sequels. But no, not from this quote. Apparently, Anderson tells the site, The Bloody Disgusting, I'm actually planning to do a kind of straight horror movie in the near future. Now, I really liked Event Horizon. Mostly because of the cast and just the eeriness of it all, right? Is it tied to the Hellraiser universe or isn't it? We don't know. But I like how bleak it was, right? That's one of those movies where, yeah, the bad guy kind of wins at the end. Sort of. For the most part, he does. It's eerie, too. Very well done. So he's going to return to horror, but he's got this next movie called In the Lost Lands that he's got up next, and that's not the one he's talking about. Because that one has Mia Jovovich and Dave Bautista. Well, of course, he's going to have Mia in there because they're married, right? That's why they did all of those horrific Resident Evil movies. But apparently this In the Lost Lands, a queen desperate to obtain the gift of shapeshifting makes a daring play. She hires the sorceress Grey Elise, played by Jovovich. Okay. So it's like a fantasy movie. That's not horrific. But if he goes back to horror, I'll be up for that. I want to check that out. Because he's got the eye. You try to slow down some of those hell scenes, and that apparently a lot of those hell scenes in Event Horizon had to be cut out because they were so gory. It would have pushed it past an R rating into like an X rating, from what I heard. It was like he really went overboard. So him going back to that kind of imagery and that kind of stuff, I would be up for that. What do you guys think? And did you like Event Horizon? Because I did. And yeah, him returning to horror is something that I would like to check out. Small story here about Scream 6. Scream 6 star applauds Neve Campbell for rejecting disappointing offer. Melissa Barrera. She's the one that's taken over from Sidney Prescott. And Melissa Barrera knocked it out of the park in my books. In Scream 5. I want to follow her now. I want to follow her. We don't need Sidney that much. And I know a lot of people still think that it should be all about Sidney, but I think Scream 5 did a really good job of passing the torch on. And I just want Sidney to go off and live happily ever after. That's the way I feel. But Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, they need to take over the franchise now and follow them. And we would still have our ties to the Scream franchise following them because she's Billy Loomis's daughter. So there you go. And I like how they weave that into the Scream 5 story. It was great. Scream 5 is going to be in my top 5 horror movies of the year. So she just goes on to support Neve's decision. I don't know how big the budget was, but I guess she just said that Neve said that, hey, I don't feel like you're going to pay me what I feel like I'm bringing to the franchise, and she's out. Now, some people have spun that and saying that they want to have, she's saying, well, you're not paying me as much as guys. She didn't say that. She just said they're not paying her what she feels like she's worth, and Melissa Barrera stands up and applauds her for that, and because her herself feels like she's not being paid as much as she feels like she should be. Because if it's her picking up the franchise from now on, she becomes the star of it, I got no problem with it. Yeah, A. Weaver says, don't kill Sydney. Yeah, I don't want to watch a Scream movie where she ends up dead. I don't. I don't. Because I like her. I like the character, and yeah, I hope they just move on. But I like that of Melissa Barrera coming out to bat for her. I'm not going to read you the entire quote here, guys. But she goes into talk about some of her ethnicity and stuff, and she just applauds her for sticking to what she believes in. Kudos, and I champion that all the way. What's next? Oh, we got a lot. We still got like 8 more tabs. Anne Rice, the Mayfair Witches. First look at Alexandra Daddario in the AMC series. Now, this is something that I'm anticipating. I know that everybody's been more or less talking about Interview with the Vampire, but this is the one that I'm more interested in. The Mayfair Witches, mostly because of Alexandra Daddario. She's an awesome actress. And in addition to, okay, so what's the log line here for it? The series will focus on an intuitive young neurosurgeon who discovers that she is the unlikely heir to a family of witches. Cool. As she grapples with her newfound power, she must contend with a sinister presence that has haunted her family for generations. And it's also got Jack Houston there. He's going to be in this. But I'm sure it's going to have that gothic feel to it, right? That Anne Rice always brings along. It's going to be on AMC. I'll be checking this out. I like the image of it, the premise of it. I mean, who else is in this? Harry Hamlin, Annabeth Gish. She was in Haunting of Hill House, wasn't she? I thought that, and she's going to be in Mike Flanagan's upcoming project. Yeah, Mystic Pizza. And oh yeah, she was in Midnight Mass. The Fall of the House of Usher. She's going to be in that too, right? I think. Yeah, The Fall of the House of Usher. That's Mike Flanagan's next series. And if you like Mike Flanagan, come on, he did Dr. Sleep, Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass. Another terrific horror director. But he's not directing this. She's just a star of many of his projects. But the Jack Houston recently signing on to play shape-shifting Lasher. Now, I never read the book, so I don't know the characters, and I kind of want to keep it that way because I want to keep it. I want to be surprised by it. But I like that. That's interesting. An intuitive young neurosurgeon who discovers that she's an unlikely heir to a family of witches. Very interesting. Mayfair Witches. I'll be anticipating that. Does it give me a release date here? It does give us some more images actually here. There she is with Dr. Oz. Is that Dr. Oz? It can't be. No. No, it's that guy. Harry Hamlin. There, yeah, okay. He does look a little bit like Dr. Oz from the side there in the profile. Maybe that's what they're going for. When is the release date here? I'm not seeing it, guys. Mayfair in 2023. 2023, so we're still a little bit away from it. But Jack Houston, he's a good actor. He was one of the few people that was up for Pennywise when they did the It movies. And he was also going to be in the Crow reboot for the longest time. Have to see how that pans out. Mayfair Witches. Cool. What's next? Okay, small story. Let's try to get through this one rather quickly. George Cowan to pen Stephen King adaptation of The Regulators when he was under the name Richard Bachman. I don't know anything about this. In Deadline article August 10th, it was reported that Stephen King novel is going to be adapted, The Regulators. I don't know anything about the story, guys, so tell me what the story is going to be about. Two stories share some common elements. Tack. I don't know what that is. I guess that's the main character, right? In desperation, the protagonists go on a journey. Yeah, this is kind of weird. The Tack possessed cop played by Ron Perlman in a miniseries. What? The Regulators see the protagonist facing a different type of conflict. In this story, Tack plays the role of the stranger that comes to town after possessing an autistic child. Tack brings the boy's Western-themed action figure to life in a ghoulish, violent fashion, and these eponymous regulators lay siege to previously quiet suburban Ohio street that protagonists call home. Ohio! Is Ohio ripe for horror? I don't know. Tack. So it sounds like this is another character that was in another story. Regulators. So it's about possession of toys and stuff like that. Okay. Regulators. I don't know what this big dog or this wolf or whatever it is. Is that the cover of the book or something? You got a boogeyman of some kind over here with a revolver. I'll keep my eye on that. I know that that's been floating around there. Let's just put it behind us. Follow her. Regulators seems like to be like toy soldiers, but with different toys. Yeah, maybe it's kind of like that. Toy soldiers, but like demonic toys. Demonic toys. There you go. A. Weaver says, I'm from Ohio. Ohio. It's ripe for horror. Trust me. Okay. Cool. All right. Follow her. Trailer asks how far you would go to be internet famous. Now, I watched this trailer, and it's not what I was expecting. I was expecting kind of like it to be a little bit more horrifying. It's more of like a stalker movie. And it looks like there's somebody who wants to be famous on YouTube doing the TikToks or whatever social media she's on there. And this guy gets obsessed with her and chases her around. Guess he kills some people too along the way. This guy here. What was that movie with Mark Wahlberg that first came out? I can't remember. It's kind of like that. That's what I got from this. Follow her. So it's a stalker movie, right? Have me in full panic mode. Genre fans will go nuts for this killer film. Killer film. Yeah. And it looked like it had some sensuality to it. They have their fun, provoking. It didn't wow me. The trailer didn't wow me, so that's why we're not going to watch it here. Well, it looks like it potentially could have some horrific things going on in it. What does intrigue me, though, is the trailer that dropped this week for The Menu, where Anya Taylor-Joy finds herself on the menu in this culinary horror movie. So I like this trailer a lot. So we are going to watch this one. To hell with it. Because when I first saw the trailer for the first trailer made it seem like it was just going to be about this cook, the chef, Ray Fiennes, was going to serve people, rich people, humans, right? Like cannibalism. Arglass says, Fear. Yeah, kind of like Fear. Mark Wahlberg in Fear. That's what that movie, Don't Follow Me, looks like. Anyway, let's take a look at this trailer for The Menu with Anya Taylor-Joy. He's going to take a picture of it. So you can see that they're elitists with the pomp, right? But I like this location. Um, the location, and you see them saying like, "Yes, chef." Um, that Netflix movie Spiderhead with Chris Hemsworth had a great location, and it looks like this movie, The Menu, is gonna do the same thing. They've got a great location, and they're gonna wheat gel. It looks like they're gonna utilize it to its full extent. Yeah. Okay, so you see there, he's like, I need to know if you're with us or with them. Because he only, I get the impression from this, he only wants to perhaps kill the elite, right? That's interesting. There's like, what is it, flatbread or roti or something? And they got the names and how much money they have listed on it. Very, huh, huh. So there's a lot of Easter eggs in this trailer. But I like how he asked her, "Are you with them or are you with us?" Because I think he could see that she's kind of like not taken in with all of the "I gotta take a picture of my food first" kind of spiel. So they shot somebody there, and yeah, like the first trailer made it seem like he was just going to feed rich people themselves, right? E. Weaver says in the live chat, "Wow, this rich people eating people trope is really taking off. Great cast, though. Yeah, the cast is fantastic, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be about that at all." Yeah, so by that line, it sounds like you got impressions of like movies like The Hunt. Um, People who they've assembled these people to hunt them down, to kill them, right? Um, but not my Anya Taylor Joy, no. But it looks like Ray Fiennes. Just the way he delivered that. We know he can go to that eerie place because he's done like Voldemort. He's done um, Red Dragon. You know, and it has that little bit of touch of satire, humor. Oh, Artglass says it's like the Hunger Games. I mean, it is maybe sort of like the Hunger Games, except you don't volunteer for it. Huh? November 18th, guys. Um, I'll be checking that out for sure because that it's a great cast. Hong Chow, Janet McTeer, Judith Light is in this. Wow. Oh, Emma Stone was originally supposed to be in it, but then it looks like Anya Taylor Joy took over. Good. That's okay. Oh, ooh, we got a poster here. Let's take a look at that. Let's blow that up a little bit. Um, cool. Ooh, there's another one. It's just Ray finds himself there. And you get eaten by hungry guests. Yeah, it seems like the cooks, the line cooks, his sous chefs, will be the ones that go out and do all the hunting. And then maybe butcher them for food. Who knows? Who knows? But the menu guys, I'll be checking this out for sure. November 18th. Can't come fast enough. All right, let's round out the date, guys, with a fun little story here. We've been going for over an hour now, so. Amityville Thanksgiving. It's a real movie, and it's releasing this November. It's a real movie, guys. It's a real movie. I like the Amityville first movie, and I like the remake with Ryan Reynolds. Amityville Thanksgiving. Hey, and talking about how versatile the horror genre is, sometimes horror comedy works, like with Piranha 3D, cult cinema. Let's check out this trailer for Amityville Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's just music. B-roll. Okay. So it's like couples therapy. Low budget, obviously. Ooh, a Ouija board. That's it? Huh. Okay. Uh, Cheesy kind of visual effects there with sound effects. Amityville Thanksgiving. Um, I do like when people try to make movies. Uh, the door is always there for horror films to make these small amateur films, and yeah, I don't know what it has to do with Amityville though. Maybe they just use it's in the same area. I don't know. Couples retreat kind of thing to fix their marriage, and they end up getting killed. Amityville Thanksgiving, guys. It's a real movie. What do you guys think? A Weaver says in the live chat, I'd watch Anya read the phone book. Yeah, she's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. She's definitely in my top 5 actresses right now of all time. But that's the week that it's been, guys, in the realm of horror movie news. Kind of a long show today, but that's okay. It's the weekend. And let me know what you thought about some of these stories in the comments below. We do a movie news show daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. And I'll see you next week for more horror movie news. See you then.